Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. My name is Michael Gault. I'm the practice group manager for our eminent domain team at Bell, Carrington, Price, and Gregg. I'm coming to you from just across the state line in Spartanburg County this afternoon, but I'm here on behalf of our eminent domain team to talk to you about the eminent domain and condemnation process. And in particular, we're here to talk about Project R2233BA. This is a project undertaken by the North Carolina Department of Transportation that is approximately a 4.5 mile stretch of the Rutherfordton Bypass. As you all know, this project has been underway for a number of years. This particular section, 4.5 miles of the total 8 mile project, is now underway, and the right-of-way acquisition phase is ongoing. Some of you may have been contacted already. Some of you may be contacted in the near future, or so it may be some weeks or months until some of you are contacted. As we all know, when we're dealing with the government, things change, plans change, and timelines change. And I know that you've already experienced that throughout the history of this project. But on behalf of our eminent domain team, I like to come to you during these virtual town halls just to offer a little bit of information about these projects, and more importantly, how the eminent domain process works, to touch on your rights as landowners and ultimately how we may be able to help. So we talked already, I've said eminent domain a number of times. What is it? Well, that put simply means that is the government's right to take private property for a public purpose. There's little doubt that when you're talking about road projects like this, road expansions or new roadways, as in this one, that right and that public purpose doctrine are generally considered met by the governmental entities. And so it's well understood that the DOT, in this case, has the right to take this property that they need to complete this project. Now, during the outset, they will certainly attempt to negotiate with landowners to acquire the property that they need for the project. But if those negotiations fail, and they often do, then the right to take really comes hold. That's when the government can file what's known as a condemnation proceeding, which essentially gives the government the right to deposit some money with the court system and then take the property through the filing that they need. The negotiations don't stop there. And that leads me to my second point, and probably the most important for you as landowners, is that although the government does have the right to take property if necessary for road projects like this one, you as landowners that are impacted also have rights. The most important of those is the right to just compensation, which put simply means that in order for the government to take property like this, private property, for a public purpose, they have to compensate you fairly and adequately for what they're taking from you. Now, unfortunately, that calculation is never an easy one. It's not a simple mathematical formula where you can enter A plus B equals C and it spits out how much the government should pay you as impacted landowners. Instead, that calculation is generally much more difficult and complicated. Fortunately, our North Carolina eminent domain lawyers with our team at Bell Carrington do this all the time. For some of them, this is 100% of their practice, is representing landowners in cases like this. And so they do it often. They do it daily. They represent landowners. They know the terminology. They know the process. They know the procedure. They oftentimes know the players involved on behalf of the government, from the appraisers to the right-of-way agents to the assistant attorneys general who negotiate these cases. We are well versed and well familiar with how these projects go, and we stand ready to help you through the pendency of a particular eminent domain impact like this one. Now, we know that infrastructure projects like this are necessary. As our population, particularly in the Southeast, continues to grow, we're going to have to continue with infrastructure projects. Unfortunately, that means that a number of you, particularly those of you who received our postcard for this town hall, it means that we have some indication that your property or some portion of it will be acquired in order to allow this project to be completed. That's the bad news. Now, we like to send that postcard out a little bit ahead of time to let the landowner know that you have a right to that just compensation. It's oftentimes easy to get caught up in some stranger knocking at your door, or an appraiser or right-of-way showing up at your door saying, hey, we're from the government, we need you to sign this so that we can complete this project, and they offer you some money. And that's all well and good, but oftentimes that initial offer doesn't truly encompass the actual impact to your property. If you're a residential homeowner or property owner, we might be looking at proximity damages and everything that falls under that umbrella, which there are many aspects under that umbrella. If you're a commercial or an industrial property owner, we may be looking at different potential damages. How does access change to your property? How does visibility change? Identifying those damages and then putting a dollar value associated with those damages is where our team excels. It's where we have experience, and it's where we can help you most. We're generally not going to be able to change project plans. There are certainly some particular impacts where we can look at parcel A and the right-of-way does this on parcel A. And sometimes we have success with project engineers to change individual impacts on certain parcels to a small degree. But by and large, we are arguing and advocating for our clients to make sure that they receive true just compensation for the property that they are losing and the property rights that they are losing and the damages to the remainder of those properties. I'd like to hit the last two high points toward the end of these presentations by letting you know that while the information that we give here is certainly very generic, very high level, we do offer free consultations, no obligation consultations to any impacted landowner, or if you think you're impacted but not sure and would like some more information from our team, we'll be happy to help you. We are fortunate at Bell Carrington to have some software that will allow us to, in real time, dive down into a property-specific view to be able to look at a GIS overlay of what we think the impact to your property will be. And we can have an intelligent, open, and honest conversation about your particular property, the impact that we see to your property, how we think it might impact your property's value, and how we might be able to help. Again, we can do that in a few minutes during a phone consultation, always free, no obligation, no consultation fee required. The second thing is, and you'll find this with any other firm that does the type of work that we do, representing landowners on a large scale basis, we operate on a contingency fee basis. That means that we don't ever ask for upfront or out-of-pocket retainers or hourly fees from our clients. Instead, we operate on a contingency fee basis, which is a percentage of the amount of just compensation that a landowner receives. And it's only calculated on what we would refer to as the new money, the money that is over and above the initial offer that is made to the landowner. So generally speaking, and this is always property specific, so we would invite you to reach out to us individually. But generally speaking, that it's a win-win situation for the landowner, for the potential client. If we're successful in increasing that amount of just compensation, then the fee starts being calculated. If we're not, for any number of reasons, then generally speaking, the client is on no hook for any attorney's fee or cost associated with our representation in these eminent domain cases. Again, I can dive down into the percentages, tell you how those work on each individual property, be that residential, commercial, or industrial, but it's much easier done in a private one-on-one consultation, and I'd be happy to have those consultations with you, or a member of my team will be glad to. I'm going to go ahead and enter my name, email address, and our team's website. There you will find a couple of fillable forms or a direct scheduling form where you can schedule a consultation with us, or you can reach out to have us contact you to schedule that consultation. Whatever's best for you and most convenient for you, we are happy to oblige. And we have a number of lawyers that are standing by to handle North Carolina eminent domain cases every single day. So bear with me one second. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. I can connect you with the right member of our team that can assist you. I can give you some preliminary advice, and we can certainly dive down into our software to talk about the impact to your property as we have that initial consultation. Again, Michael Gault, Practice Group Manager on behalf of the Eminent Domain team at Bell Carrington. I want to thank you for joining us. I hope to hear from some of you. Look forward to answering your questions and hopefully working with some of you in the near future. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.